Bir bakalım yerini nereye koyarız. Şöyle devam et diyelim. Aslında kamerayı da kapatabilirim. Ses balinalar için her şeydir. Bunlar yeryüzündeki en büyük beyne ve en güçlü ses dalgası donanımına sahip hayvanlardır.
Day 7. About to enter the twilight zone. I'm following Andrea's family down to the seamounts where I hope to observe them hunting. Arena has been testing our samples and is worried about a harmful algal bloom being somewhere nearby, so I am to keep an eye out for that. Check. I'm also keeping an eye out for more turtles. I know they're out there, ready to dive.
Patlamasının olduğundan şüpheleniyor. Bu yüzden gözümü dört açıyorum. Her şey kontrol altında. Kaplumbağalarda unutmuyorum tabi orada bir yerde olduklarını biliyorum.
I'm in and okay.
And we're streaming.
Hello everyone, welcome, or welcome back. I'm diving near a seamount region, also known as the Twilight Zone, because it is just beyond reach of the sun. And we'll be taking some questions live, so be nice.
We'll also be testing a playback system to interact with whales.
Kim var lan orada? Drone mu bunlar ha?
Want to hear something cool? So do I. I'm hoping that buoy can send a little message to our humpback friends.
That's right. Andre is going to serenade some humpbacks.
Well, not me, but using a song I generated from other recordings.
Bilinmeyen canlı varmış orada. Kambur balina şarkı söylüyor. Sensör. Çevirir çevirir. Daha dur bakalım ya.
Okay, time to see if any humpbacks respond to our song.
Jordan wants to know how you will know.
Great question. If we have recorded him before, we'll see if the influence of our song affected his.
Scientists believe whales from one region can influence the song of whales from another when they mix.
Şuna bak. Şarkıyı kaydetmek için yakın tarama yap. Başka? Olmadı mı?
Hey Andre, we've recorded a song from this one before, right?
We have.
How quickly can you compare his two songs?
Well, I need to wait for his song to complete at least one full cycle.
And how long is that?
Balinalar şarkı söylüyor.
Wow, that's a long, slow ballad.
Geri gel. Şimdi şuraya bir gidelim. Güneş balığı. Şu ne? Malta palamudu. Bak palamut burada abi, gel. Palamutun iyisi burada, gel.
Dana squid. It looks like they're hunting.
Lanternfish.
Well called, Arena.
Hayda.
We'll
bu-
make you a sea witch yet.
I'm sorry.
İyi misin sen ya?
Let's scan a few to pick up their hunting behavior. Here goes.
Boşver, sallama o kadar.
Scott from Denver wants to know if they eat each other.
Some do. I think this one was upset he missed out on his prey.
Hı hı. Güzelliğe bak ya. Dev ahtapot, mürekkep balığı. Şuraya gidelim.
Another leatherback turtle, Andre. And feasting on some moon jellies.
That is odd. Is that the same one we saw before?
It looks bigger, but let me zoom scan it to be sure. We can run the sample in the lab, but I am sure this is a different one.
Do they typically travel together? Wouldn't it be surprising to find two this far off course?
Yes, it would be.
And yet, here they are.
Welcome back, turtles. Enjoy your beautiful moon jellies.
Moon jellies are beautiful. There is a decent chance this jelly will regenerate itself.
Do tell.
In fact, a few species of jellyfish are technically immortal. They can revert from being full grown to their younger
Nasıl
state
ölümsüz
and
ya?
essentially start their life cycle over.
Thank you, Arena, who will make us all
Allah
immortal
Allah,
one day.
Yok ya. Tek beyni olmayan canlı diye biliyorum ben bunları. Beyni olmayan tek canlı. Diyor ki yaşlandıklarında genç haline geri dönebiliyorlar. Yani ölümsüz sayılabiliyorlar. Şu deniz anaları var ya. Yaşlandıkları zaman genç haline geri dönüyorlarmış. Enteresan. Ne var orada?
Great. I've been waiting for this. I have just activated your UV light.
First of all, don't mess with my suit when I'm diving. Secondly, you spoiled my surprise.
Şişen köpek balığı mı? Nasıl köpek balığı lan? Yavru mu? Anlamadım ki. Beyaz ışık kullanarak yakın tarama yap. UV ışığına geç ve desenlere yakın tarama yap. Martılar çıldırdı beyler. Bu arada var ya, doğa dehşet derecede şey yapıyor abi. Yani bir değişkenlik gösteriyor sanki. Hayvanlar bile çıldırmış yani. Hayvanlar bir şeylere tepki veriyorlar ama neye veriyor? Önce bunu bulmak lazım. Nasıl aktif edeceğim ben onu? Ha, şuraya inelim. Bu ne? Işık mı koymuşlar buraya?
What am I looking for here?
Oh, one of our sperm whale tags must have fallen off.
Andre, you really need better glue for these.
I don't use glue.
Ben tutkal kullan. Nerede? Nereye düşmüş? Abi oradan geçmem mi lazım benim? Oğlum sen daha yatmadın mı? Yat zıbar demedim ben sana. Niye laf dinlemiyorsun ha? Köpek balıkları şu ana kadar bir saldırmadı, bilmiyorum. Ne olur ileride.
I've tracked down the tag. It's in a cave. I wonder how it got in here.
Bakacık. Aha.
Oh, what the?
Sana ne oğlum? İster yatarım ister yatmam.
Are you
Sana ne?
okay?
Other than getting
Hayda,
inked in front of a
geldi ya.
live global audience?
You know,
Kanki
you might want to
bir
get
tane
that off.
Twitch'te
It
bir
will
yayıncı
probably
buldum.
attract predators.
Muskilen dayı.
Oh, wonderful.
Abi
Biliyorum onu, biliyorum.
bir şarkı söylüyor. Bir şarkı söylüyor.
Hı.
Ana. Ta oğlum ya çek etmeden Halil'imi söyledi. Ay
Biliyor
ne
musun
kadar
onu?
güzeldi ya.
Biliyorum.
Ben bir daha dinleyeyim bir.
Dinle sen bir daha.
Böyle Türk musikisi tarzında söylüyor.
Biliyorum. Ne o, yatmadın mı sen? Uyku kaçtı tabi. Şurada ne var ya?
Ne diyorsun oğlum ya?
Beyaz ışık kullanarak yakın tarama yap. Mustafa işim var. Su altındayım, adam hasta etme bak. Burada bir numara var. Beyaz ışık kullanarak yakın. Nasıl kullanacağım beyaz ışık? Ne oluyor? Ha şöyle mi? En güzeli Arap Şükrü'den açacağım bu akşam ödül. Arap Şükrü. Arap Şükrü kim lan? Mor ötesi ışığa geç ve
Swell sharks have developed biofluorescence to communicate with each other. Their eyes have
Tamam.
special adaptations for the UV light. Now you can see what a swell shark sees.
That's what I'm talking about.
okey. Bir tane yaptık. Bir de şuna mı yapalım? Ya da bu muydu o? Ha, buna yapmışız. Şunlara gidelim. Abi farklı balığa yapacağız galiba. Bu balık da aynı mı? Yok. Aynı. Aynı. Bir dakika. Yapmışız. UV ışığına geç ve desenlere yapın. Tamam, yapmışız. Şimdi kaldı diğeri. Bu ne? Örümcek yengeci mi?
Next, you can try the black light I installed in your sub.
You did not. You did install it in your dorm room back in the day. Your wife showed me pictures.
Well, uni was a good time.
Gidebiliriz herhalde.
Okay, last boy of the dive. How are you
Ne
feeling?
kadar doğal ya
Chances of
falan.
suit holding out until the end of the dive? Good. Hope of seeing if our humpback song had any effect? Well,
You know this, but for the viewers, science is not magic, it takes patience.
I'd like to believe in a little magic. Sperm whale. I think it's... Yes, it's hunting! First time we'll be able to document it with Andre's technology.
Güzeldi, güzel. Sherlock serisi çok güzeldi ya. YouTube'a attım zaten.
Come on, come on. And then the buzz. I got it!
Raj from Mumbai wants to know, what's the buzz?
I think he was making a joke.
Got it. But what is the buzz? How is it used?
We're not entirely sure, but definitely associated with being close to prey.
This is just the warm-up. The real fun will come in the deep.
Ben nereye kayboldum? Wow, neon ışıklara bakın ya. Ha şöyle gideceğiz. Bilinmeyen sensör. Değil. Hah. Kırdın mı bu? Ne yaptın?
Andre. Andre. Well, there's no way these little ones are thousands of miles off course. Right, Andre?
Give him a minute.
Right. Let's scan a few of these to get their gender. There's a tiny tag here. Andre?
Hiç kırık olsa duramazsın. Zedelenmiştir çünkü. Şimdi hocam.
Hadi yatıyorum ben. Hadi iyi geceler.
Hadi iyi geceler. Kendine dikkat et.
Hı, sen böyle devam et. Böyle düzen olmaz kardeş.
Başka
Bu
ne
yaptığın
yapayım
düzen
anca ya.
yok abi, böyle bir düzen olmaz. Hiç iyi bir şey değil bu.
Ne iyi bir şey değil.
Bu düzenin hiç iyi değil kardeş.
Abi anca müsait oluyorum.
Chan
Kalkıyorum
from
başımdan.
Shanghai wants to know why you care about their gender.
Well, their sex is determined by the temperature of their nests. Warming beaches wiped out the turtles in this region.
Believe in a little magic
Ya her
now.
zaman öyle olacak diye bir şey yok.
They just start.
Hayır,
But
eskiden
let me
böyle
check on
değildi.
that tag first.
Biz 9-10'da Hüseyin yayına geçerdi.
Ya benim
2-4'te
dengem bozuldu bu ara başkan, o yüzden oldu. Anladın mı?
Böyle olmaz. Bir anladım, biliyorum da.
Ya istem dışı
Böyle
o
olmaz. Sen
isteyerek yapılan bir şey değil. Ya şimdi şöyle bir şey. Gün içerisinde uyuyamadığın zaman ne oluyor? Geç uyuyorsun. Geç uyuduğun zaman da geç kalkıyorsun. Olay bu. Çoluk çocuk olunca böyle oluyor başkan. Yani yapacak bir şey yok. Onlarla da ilgilenmek lazım.
Ama onlarla ilgilen de böyle olmaz Hüseyin.
Oh,
Değişik.
Bu
wow.
ara böyle oldu.
Glad we didn't miss
Bu
this.
ara değil, hep öyle anasın.
Yo hep öyle değil.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they must have been hunting down past the rift.
I think we found our spot for our first deep dive.
Mirai, check out that one closest to you. What's that on its skin?
Not sure I can catch them. They're headed to the surface.
Hatta WhatsApp'ta
Might just be a scrape from a ship strike.
Yeah, let's hope that's all it
Uyuyordum
is.
ya. Uyurken nasıl bak.
Let's end it here.
Telefona çok şey yapmıyorum, bakmıyorum zaten de. Tekvandoda ayağımı kırmıştım.
Ben sana bıraktım yani. Biz burada seni bekliyoruz. Sen gelmiyorsun, uyumuyorsun kardeş. Ayıp ediyorum valla.
I know it seems like Andre
Tamam
worries
başla,
about
düzeltiriz
everything,
onu ya. Sıkıntı yok.
but I
Şikayetçiyim
really
kardeşim.
understand where it comes
Şikayet.
from.
Hakim Bey. O zaman
Everyone's
bir
seen the
Hakim Bey'i
pictures,
dinle.
but I can tell you it was really tough to be doing hands-on work when we were losing entire species. For me, it was the whales. But for Andre, it was the turtles. I stayed to help him. Several of the other scientists did as well. By then, only Andre's protected nests were the ones producing turtles in the region. We all figured that the population was going to collapse, and eventually it did.
İyi yayınlar.
Sağ ol başkan, görüşürüz. Dikkat et.
But seeing this large man spend day after day carrying tiny turtles from the nest to the water, it inspired us to stay. I mean, coming back now, it feels like another world. Andre is not an angry man, Arena. He's just a man who gets angry when he sees people say it's too hard, or that they don't care at all.
Yeah.
Hi, Mirai. Sorry to miss the post-dive brief. I've been listening to our humpback recordings for hours and got myself in a kind of funk. Actually, I started listening to the humpbacks and then switched to Miles Davis. Anyway, I don't see any clear sign that our playback influenced any of the other whales yet, but I just know we're on the right track. I'm sorry to be in such a mood. Don't know what to make of those turtles or what's going on with our sperm whale family. Right. Catch you in a bit. Hi, Mariah. Sorry, I've been listening to our... Actually, yes. Anyway, sorry. Right.
Ocean crashes on the rocks, where I go to collect my thoughts of this new life. I think I see a new light. Coral garden lives below the big
It's a big ocean. You gotta be able to see what's worth spending your time on.
When I'm down there in a submarine and I'm seeing all these animals, it's always about which one of these is new, which one of these has not been seen before to science.
Why did these animals come here as opposed to there, and where are they going? There are really tangible things that we can do now to start answering some of these questions, but as the technology develops, we can become more and more and more and more sophisticated.
Technology is emerging on all fronts. We're using all this side-scan sonar and hydrophones to map things out. We can use these sound underwater surveillance systems to actually track whales and see them move all around the ocean. There's a new field called environmental DNA, where you just look at the sloughed off cells that are in the water to know who is there.
Oh, the whale shark was just here. Can we follow it? And you sniff the trail of the whale shark's DNA.
How am I going to understand a shark if I'm thinking like an old world primate? We're totally different. It took me several years to look at the eyes, to look at the hardware, to measure the light, and to build the camera so we could get all these hints into how that shark might be seeing the world. Because it's like a detective story.
expanse above me grows into a new.
What we know as humans about whales comes from just a few scientists so far, like Roger and Katie Payne. They had background in music, and by kind of mapping out the songs, noticing that if they would look at this almost like a song sheet, every 15 minutes or so there would be a repeat. Only male humpbacks sing, but the function of their song is still mysterious. The general belief is that whale songs serve the same purposes that bird songs do, as ways for males to advertise for mates and to challenge rivals. But why they change their songs is still unknown. Taking that information from whales and passing that to us humans was one of the most transformative pieces of narrative to feed the Save the Whale movement and maybe save some whales from extinction. These animals are sharing this world that might have been millions of years going on in their world, and suddenly, for the first time, we, as humans, are tuning in.
If people stayed on the shore, never got underwater, how would we ever know? that fish like one another. When you see fish interact with other creatures, like the octopus and the grouper, who go fishing together, they communicate in ways that we don't know what they're saying, but they know what they're saying. They've been on the earth for hundreds of millions of years. They've had a long time to figure out these close relationships.
Sharks actually might prey on dolphins in a natural setting, but when they are presented with a bait ball, then they work together for this common goal to feed on the fish.
We had very large bait balls spread over probably half the size of a football field. We had mobula, we had dolphins, the bait was shifting everywhere, animals were coming in, moving out, just moving so quickly.
So we have some orcas around the bowl and also under. So everybody works together as a team, herding the fish. Males, female, everybody is doing this, and they will eventually share the stunned fish afterwards, which is pretty amazing to see. There is no competition, so everybody's working together and everybody is sharing the prey afterwards.
It really takes a long time of being in there, watching the same species of fish to figure out these really interesting things that they're doing. So I think that there's probably a lot of really interesting behaviours out there that we haven't even discovered yet.
Jellyfish have mechanisms of self-repair. They're constantly getting bitten by turtles and chunks getting taken away. 50% of the jellyfish population are wounded. So they've gone through 500 million years living, persisting in the ocean in simplicity, and they've come up with some remarkable ways of living. There's something called the immortal jellyfish and how they age, aging in reverse, which we're just beginning to understand, where they get old and then degenerate back into a youth again. In understanding the gene pathways and how this happens, this could look at, humans. We don't have this capacity to age in reverse. It's like Benjamin Button, and it's here. And it just takes the kind of focus and dedication to look at that jellyfish and to grow that jellyfish and to figure out how to use the best available scientific tools to get at this question. It's just about kind of looking super deeply and letting the secrets unfold.
In the eye of the beholder.
The energy from our star flies through the universe, through our atmosphere, and hits us at the ground. But now, when we go underwater, the ocean properties of water are like pure blue filter. So it's going to filter out all these other wavelengths except blue. As you go down further, it's primarily blue, blue, blue till 700 meters. And at that level, there's still faint photons of sunlight in the blue range, and we call this the twilight zone. And there, animals are still perceiving a tiny little bit of our sun's energy. Below this, it's gone. 24/7 darkness. And it turns out that there's a ton of color vision down in the deep, so it's like they're making enough light down there to be able to be satisfying all the eyes of the deep sea creatures. So it's not this totally dark world down there. It's still light, it's just the animals are making the light rather than the sun. We've designed all this technology to kind of satisfy our visual hardware. As I started looking at other animals, they have totally different hardware. And I've been looking at everything through these silly little primate eyes. We have to overcome our humanness to jump behind the world of a shark or another creature and see the world from their perspective. We found a biofluorescent shark, and it only sees right at the blue-green interface. So it's really just tuned to a very similar spectrum to the environment it lives in. This fluorescence was creating greater contrast for the shark. It's like this endless well of information. We're at the very tip of the iceberg.
these animals travel thousands of kilometers, navigating open oceans that have no physical landmarks. They have that innate ability to find their way. They're only sharing our beach for a short point in time, but they need protection because man has brought an ancient species to near extinction. I got involved at a time when hostilities were very real. People came with guns and machetes to poach a turtle. We would protect these animals at all costs. Because on the high tides, when the tide comes up, this area here will be flooded, right? So when the sea turtle lays her egg, the nest requires a constant temperature. And if we recognize that this nest is in a real bad spot, we choose a spot further inland on the beach that's stable, and then we would evaluate if the eggs were able to hatch because of us moving them. And in both cases, we're always right. So as the villagers began to benefit from the tourism that turtle conservation was creating, they saw that the turtle was worth more to them alive than dead. The children really love sea turtles. We educate them, but we involve them. And by so doing, we get them to a level of interest where they want to become actively involved. When we first started this conservation work, we would encounter at the height of the nesting season 30, 40 turtles. Now we encounter over 500. That's significant. Some people argue, well, that's nature. Leave them. Why protect them? But remember, humans have to intervene sometimes to help nature keep existing.
Day 12. Spent the last 5 days on an endless series of depth tests of Andre's deep diving suit. Guess he doesn't want me to implode on the live stream. I do hope it's giant squid proof, though. The mapping drone located a brine pool near where Andrea's family has been hunting. That is, before it went AWOL. Ready to dive.
I'm in and okay.
You sure I can't talk you into another test dive at this depth before we stream?
Enough test dives. It's not like I'm doing a spacewalk.
Well, with this suit, you probably could.
Are we gonna talk about suit crush depth again?
I think we can probably roll.
Starting the live stream.
Welcome back, ocean friends. Tonight, I am deep. Midnight zone, no light from the surface deep. Tonight, we're using Andre's lure drone to mimic the Atolla jellyfish to lure large predators like the giant squid.
It's certainly not all my tech. I'm building on years of prior research.
Don't forget our mission to the brine pools.
Oh yes, Arena will fill you in on that later. Okay, Andre, how do I find the lure drone?
Look for blinking red lights in the water column. No need to get too close. You can activate the lure from there.
Andre, have you done this before?
I haven't, but others have.
How long until we can expect the lure to attract a predator?
It's hard to say. It's a big ocean. But if you lose patience, I would find some real Atolla jellyfish. I have a feedback system set up to improve the lure as you scan them.
Of course you do. For those watching, we will be scanning these Atolla jellyfish to make sure Andre's lure matches the real thing.
It does, but it can always be refined.
Not much confidence in humanity, but plenty in himself. Got the jellyfish scans, though Andre doesn't need them.
In truth, they should improve the lure. I would not waste your time.
Getting a few impolite comments on the screen pointing out that giant squid don't feed on Atolla jellyfish.
They're right. Actually, the Atolla puts on this light show when under attack, in order to lure creatures big enough to eat their attacker. Might have some useful human applications.
I think we need more Atolla scans to improve the lure.
Ne oldu?
Okay, whose idea was it to live stream this particular dive? I am glad I can't see the comments.
I would agree. My grandmother had a saying for times like this. I'm not going to try my grandmother's accent on a live stream, but loosely translated, it means if you get bored waiting for a giant squid, you can always go to a bride pool.
That's a pretty specific saying.
I noticed that these atollas were already making their blue alarm before you swam close.
Most likely a sign that they have detected predators in the region that threaten them.
Bunlar çok tehlikelidir ha. What?
That gave me a chill. I know how much you enjoyed that, but do you mind if we check out the brine pool before we check on our whale cam?
If you insist. You got what you wanted. This is my giant squid.
Is that another one of your grandmother's sayings?
No, but she often used this one. Hurry up and collect my specimens for me.
What an expressive language.
It's no giant squid, but I promise you, you won't have to wait to find it.
Deniz anası mı? Bu mu?
At long last, welcome to the brine pool. I know it's really a salt lake under the ocean, but it looks more like a witch's brew. I have been teasing Arena, but a brine pool is a diverse microenvironment within the ocean. It has its own ecosystem.
And each one is unique. So that means the microbiology is unique and could hold groundbreaking solutions to human problems. Each time I take new samples into a lab here on this ship, it's this magical discovery moment where I tingle all over. I fund my own research so I can pursue what I know to be important. And people ask me, how much money are you going to spend to collect some bacteria at the bottom of the ocean? If these bacteria hold the cure for a disease that relieves even just a small amount of human suffering, how do you put a price on that?
That is some giant squid.
Balık hastalıklarını mı? Burası nasıl bir yer lan böyle? Bu ne? Ha bunlar işte. Balık hastalıkları mı?
Mirai, pushing you a waypoint.
Sperm whales are back on the hunt.
Look for the drones. They will seek out the sound of the sperm whales and then idle nearby.
We hope that today, Andrea's tech will make it possible to document how a sperm whale hunts the giant squid.
Again, no need to get too close. You can activate from there.
Let's go tag some sperm whales so we can eavesdrop on their hunting.
One of our viewers wants to know if there is a problem with the link, since the waypoints keep appearing and disappearing.
No problem. The drones are in stealth mode, so they will only track the whales by sound.
I better swim fast. We'll keep good watch over you.
Tamam. Git. Ne kayboluyor ki bu? Hı. Burada aktifleştirelim. Aha.
Whoa!
Birazdan Kraken gelir.
What just happened?
I think the squid knocked the camera right off.
I had that camera feed in full screen on my visor, and for a second I thought it was lights out for me.
Sounds like a good time for the sub to pick you up. Live stream out.
It's Irina. Since there's no dive today, I'm going to lose myself in the wet lab to work on those samples you sent up from the brine pool. Hey, have you listened to my daughter's track? Interesting, right?
With me, I feel it up in me.
Mirai, remember the tag we found on the turtles? I put it out on the network and I got the strangest message back. I'm gonna take a tender to a small island nearby and check it out. I'll explain everything later. Still no mapping drone, by the way.
Hey, it's me. Nana didn't qualify for the study. Doctor says we missed the window. Whatever that means. Hard to tell what she remembers now. It's tough. Not sure my head's 100% there with school. Honestly, seems like a waste of money. Anyway, see you.
Day 13. We're in the vents region without a map because of the lost drone. Diving blind, but I know these vents are important to Irina. We tracked a tag from our whale family here. I'm hoping it just fell off, as this would be an unusual place for a whale to be. Andre has the dive suit in safe mode, so I'll have restricted range. Head south to find the clearing for the sub pickup. Check. Ready to dive.
Oo. Fena yağıyor. Geliyorum ben.
I'm in and okay.
Remember, no buoys and no waypoints. I put a simple version of the mapping system on your Manta drone. Now, we won't get your feed live, so we'll hear you, but won't see what you see.
I really wish we hadn't lost that mapping drone.
Relax. You know I've got this.
Of course, but we'll keep unnecessary chatter to a minimum to help you focus.
Roger that. No chit-chat. Singing's okay, though, right? Irina, how will I know the difference again between a dormant vent and a live vent?
Well, the live vents would have 400-degree water streaming out, so that's one way.
Check. Wide berth in the live hydrothermal vents.
Sorry, I thought my mic was muted. This is a dormant field. No live vents.
Neymiş bu? Uykucu köpek balığı. Bu bacalar nerede ya? Bitti mi acaba? Oo. Şunlar mı? He. Bunlarmış. Başka nerede var? Şurada var. Tamam. Şimdi
Neither of you are gonna believe this. I think I found the mapping drone.
Really?
No way.
Can you scan it to make sure?
Scan confirms. I thought you programmed it to track the noise from the miners.
I did. I definitely did.
Maybe you never committed the change. You were pretty exhausted that night.
Maybe.
Aa, sen burada mıydın Gollum? Okey. İyi sabahlar. Fena da yağmur var burada. Orada yağıyor mu? Ne yapacağım ben şimdi?
Okay, this dive just keeps getting stranger. How hot did you say that
Thermal
water
bacalar.
typically is in a live vent?
Is that a joke?
No joke. Well, we're down one drone, but discovered an unmapped vent system.
Mirai, this is great. I truly believe that these systems are the key to understanding the origins of life. Thank you so much for doing the dive under these conditions.
Actually, that might be the answer.
What?
To why the drone died.
We were talking about the origins of life.
My mind won't stop if it can't fit all the pieces together. The mapping drone may have cruised too close to the
smells pleased.
Well, it's better to know the flaws so you can fix them.
Evet. Böyle gidelim bir daha. Ne yapacağız?
were giving me the silent treatment, but I think I just discovered a new species of octopus.
Not sure I can confirm that with just one scan.
Sorry, didn't copy that. Irina, did you expect volcanic activity here?
Describe, please.
Red, glowing. Need more?
Mirai, I would give that a very wide berth. Like maybe from your sub.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Describe, please.
I can't. I mean, I don't want to.
Mirai, you're making me uneasy.
Seriously, we'll look at it together when I'm done with the dive.
Sondaj matkabı.
Oh no! What happened to you? Were you sick?
Are you okay?
Just getting a few last scans. And saying goodbye to a friend. Can you send the sub?
We watched the video log from your dive. I'm truly heartsick.
I'm furious. Where should we start?
The whale fall was definitely from the baby's family. The tail fluke was intact enough to scan it.
But you are sure it wasn't the mother?
It wasn't the mother. The ID matched another whale we know from her family. But it was an older whale, so more vulnerable.
Do you think there's any connection to the miners?
They did plenty of damage, but I don't think the whale fall is on them.
I can pull out anything from the scan log that might be worth investigating.
Already have. Can you turn these into dive objectives?
Right. Catch you in a bit. And while I do that, can you pull up the video of that damaged area?
The destroyed vent. I couldn't believe how badly the seabed was chewed up.
Vents that might have had a fossil record dating back over 1 billion years.
And microbial life that doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet. Who knows what cures we've lost.
Your drone's a fallen hero, Andre. I think it spooked the miners before they did more damage.
If you hadn't been willing to dive without a map, we would never have confirmed they were actively mining.
Who gets the satisfaction of turning them in?
We were debating that before you came on.
We should jointly report. It'll be stronger.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Sound to whales is everything. It's their hands. These are animals with the biggest brain on Earth and the most powerful sonic apparatus. They spend a lot of their time deep down. They're diving for an hour at a time in darkness. Just like a submarine is echolocating, they're kind of... They ping a signal out, and then they wait for that signal to bounce off something and come back as the signal. And from that information, they could get an idea of what's there.
They constantly click, and that click sometimes can be really loud, and you can feel it in your body. It's like going to a DJ and feeling that bass. Once I had an experience with a sperm whale. It clicked, my ears almost like bounced back. It's really an amazing feeling, you know.
You don't develop a huge, complicated brain if you're not using it. Whales have little channels of communicating where they could talk to each other hundreds of kilometers away using sound.
Sperm whales make clicks in sort of rhythmic patterns that we call codas. Any family might have 20 to 25 different coda patterns that they use when they're having conversations with each other. And some of them are unique to different places in the world. In the Eastern Caribbean, they make a lot of what we call a 1 + 1 + 3. That sounds kind of like this. And that's only ever been recorded in the Caribbean. And it's been identical for the last 35 years. These are really different ways of life that are being labeled by these coda patterns. In the same way that human language is kind of a shorthand for where you come from. You can make a lot of missteps when traveling simply by speaking incorrectly or introducing yourself differently. Do you hug? Do you shake hands? Do you bow? And a growing concern has to do with the noise that we're putting into the ocean. Everything we do impacts everything they're doing. The sound is causing high levels of stress in animals like this. No one wants to live at a rock concert. You can imagine trying to have your home inside an arena while some metal band is playing. And that's increasingly what the ocean feels like.
Brine pools are amazing habitat. It's a lake on the bottom of the ocean. And it's this surreal seascape. chemically, each one of them is unique.
These brines undoubtedly contain bacteria, archaea, and viruses that are unknown to science. We know that they're incredibly rich in undescribed life forms. They have the perfect cocktail, the perfect recipe for life. These sites aren't just salty, they can be violent, characterized by eruptions and incredibly unstable conditions. So to live in them, you have to not only be hardy, but you have to be able to endure constantly changing conditions because not one day is the same. The organisms that live there, they undergo a constant biological warfare with each other to dominate the environment, to survive in the system. The biochemicals that they produce to do that biological warfare are applicable to curing diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's. They produce antibiotics and antivirals that can also be used to improve human health. And we drop targets as we go, so we know exactly where we sample. Exploring these habitats is absolutely necessary because the metabolic potential there has the capacity to change the way we think about medicine, to change the way we think about antibiotics, based on our knowledge that we gain from studying these incredible environments in the deep sea.
Imagine if I was sent in to go study the Mona Lisa and I come in with a pair of snippers and I'm like, I'm gonna need to cut this baby up a little bit to see what kind of chemical composition is going on there. Like, you wouldn't do that, right? We don't have to kill these animals. We don't have to kill to understand. If we could do a single cell, that means we don't need to kill 20,000 animals to be able to really understand that one. We could do our work much more non-invasively.
So we are working this year on a new project to deploy tags on orcas. We need to learn more about the diet and how they use the habitat. So by deploying those tags, we get the information we need. It is the least invasive method. It is suction cups. So it is not a scratch on the whale afterwards, which is something we really like.
In the deep sea, we use these like robotic claws from the oil and gas industry that gets you the sample, but this is so archaic. So we've been designing something called squishy robot fingers, which are ways to be gentle when we study the deep sea. But I think we could even take this another level. There's some organism, we quickly encase it. It's like a medical checkup. We give it a swab to get its genome. We image it from all directions. We open it up, the animal goes away, and we have more information than we've ever had before. These animals are Mona Lisas. Our perception of them should change. We should be more delicate.
Hydrothermal vents are located on the seabed, often in deep water, but sometimes in shallower water. And they form in areas where new oceanic crust is being formed. You can have 400-degree water here and 2-degree water over here. It's an accelerometer for chemistry, and you can form organic compounds in the absence of biology. Everybody's interested in vents because of the metals, including humans. But the metals are sort of the nuclei for life. When you think about what's required for life, you've got to have an energy source, you've got to have a system that's able to utilize that energy source, and the organisms sort of co-evolve with the rock. And in my mind, that's probably how life originated. There are reservoirs of precious metals in the deep sea, and we do have societal needs for precious metals. It's very short-sighted and dangerous to exploit resources in ecosystems that we don't truly understand how those ecosystems function.
Deep sea mining is when people go out and extract minerals from the seafloor. People do this because a lot of the minerals that we have on land are actually being depleted, like copper and zinc, so we're looking to the ocean to get those minerals.
We want these minerals for solar panels primarily, and we want them for cell phone boards. It's necessary to advance society and get us off fossil fuels. We simply have no idea about the environmental consequences of a lot of these actions that we're taking in the deep sea. We have tended to go for the quick benefit and we'll deal with the consequences later. Well, I think that has caught up with us.
We don't know enough right now to effectively, selectively mine the deep sea without catastrophic consequences.
The science has always lagged behind the industrialization. I would like for once to see the science ahead of the industrialization and have the science define the limits of the industrialization.
Day 14. Irina's analysis of the whale fall shows evidence of toxins from a harmful algal bloom. We have to find Andrea and her family and get biosamples. On a positive note, Andrea's side trip was a success. He found an amazing group of teens who have been nurturing the turtle population back to health. Running out of dive time, especially if I go home early. Ready to dive.
I'm in and okay. This area looks so different at night. I used to love diving in the moonlight.
The pod was active in this area as recently as an hour ago.
When was the last tracking data for the baby or its mother?
Days ago. But they could be with the pod right now and just not making any noise.
Bunu ilk defa gördük.
There you go, first waypoint. They'll load automatically from here on in. I have the Explorer drones patrolling to get as many eyes and ears looking for the pod as possible.
Do I need the buoys?
No, we'll use the hydrophones on the drones. They don't have the range or fidelity of the boys, but we need speed.
Thanks.
Mariah, you know that no chatter rule was just for the vent area, right?
I'm sorry?
I think he's pointing out that you seem distracted.
Sorry. I'm back. Talk to me about something positive, Andre. Were you able to make contact with the teenagers you were telling me about?
They've been helping the leatherback turtle population rebound here in the region. They've developed a nest cooling technology to help the baby turtles. They've also built their own tracking drones.
Teens with tech. Sounds like you've inspired some citizen scientists, Andre.
I have the lab ready to start work on the samples when you're done with your dive.
How quickly will you get results?
We can do initial screens quickly to narrow things down.
I don't remember having dolphins in the dive objectives.
I added them because of their role in the disease that hit the dolphin population a few years back.
Done. Andre, have you picked up any tags from our pod?
No, not yet. I'm going to widen the radius for the Explorer drones.
Have you decided whether or not you want another dive back at the brine pool?
With everything going on, I really hadn't had the chance to look at the schedule, but I would always say yes to that.
Right. I'm near the waypoint and can hear a humpback singing, but I don't see it. I think I'm losing it. It's gotta be close. I feel like it's singing right in my ear.
Try a scan visor.
That's totally weird. I see a scan dot, but nothing's there. I think the humpback is invisible.
Sorry, I'm afraid I'm the invisible whale.
I'm definitely losing it. I thought you just said you're an invisible whale.
Well, not me. The humpback song I generated. You're at a playback station. It's pretty small on the buoy line, but in the dark you probably can't see the line.
Well, it must be pretty authentic. At least enough to convince your drone. Mirai, have you heard back from Ren yet?
No.
Is Ren okay? Rai, are you there?
I'm not sure.
Pardon?
I meant about Ren. I don't know. We had a fight right before I left the sub.
Do you want to call her now? I can patch you through.
Seriously? Here?
Well, I have to watch your video feed for safety, but I can mute your audio track for privacy.
Wow, I've never talked to her while I was diving. No, I'll wait for the sub.
Okay, Mariah, you're on. The drone on the outer patrol just picked up several sperm whales on visual.
Thanks.
No sound alerts at all. They're being awfully quiet.
I think I found the pod. Yes, that is them. I don't see the baby, but it's a little dark.
Why aren't they moving?
They're sleeping.
I had no idea.
Böyle mi uyuyor bunlar?
They look alien, but beautiful.
If you don't mind, I'm just gonna mute my comm while I get the samples.
I don't think they can hear us through your visor.
I think she is the one that is needing some quiet.
Thanks, Arena. Catch you at the sub. Mariah out.
we don't have much time, so say exactly what's been on your mind.
Hello, Mirai. It's me. I don't see a sample from either the baby or the mother. Andre said you were going back out to look for them. I know you are still deciding, but I told him you're thinking about leaving the expedition early. As soon as I have results, I'll let you know.
Don't have much choice, so go ahead.
Mirai, I think I have a location for the mother and baby. They were spotted just outside the research zone by those teenagers I was telling you about. Now, I don't have much data, but the report doesn't sound positive. I'll let Irina know as well.
Use your voice.
Hello?
Is now a good time? You sound tired.
Yeah, I'm a zombie. I had trouble sleeping.
Did you say school wasn't working out?
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Listen, I'm exhausted. I'll catch you later, okay?
Bren, please don't hang up. Bren? Okay.
I've thought about it every day. I've wrapped my brains to find another way. Despite how much I wish it, I won't belong to you.
Bakmış mıydık?
Hydrothermal vents are...
No one in this world.
I study things that are beyond their wildest imaginations, and that I see things that are brand new to science and to people and to humanity every day.
I'm at home in these kinds of environments. It's funny, I'm more comfortable here than I probably am on the outside.
It wasn't just that I was meant to be out on ships. I was supposed to be in the bottom. I was supposed to be in the deep water. I was supposed to be doing those things that nobody had ever done before. It completes who I am. Being a deep sea scientist, it does require sacrifice. I mean, we're away from our families for weeks on end, sometimes months on end. It's a constant struggle because you miss parts of your kid's life. My oldest daughter was about to turn 3 when the oil spill happened in 2010. I was at sea a lot. So between 27 months and 36 months, I was gone probably more than I was there. When I came home after a 5-week stint in the Gulf, she came running up to me in the airport. She had transitioned from a toddler to a little girl, and the little girl was gone, and there was this other person there. And you don't ever get that back. It was a decision. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna miss transformations, I'm gonna miss really important things. Is it worth it? I had talked to her class about the ocean, and one of her friends said something to her, and she responded, you know, my mommy, she's the ocean doctor. The ocean is sick, and she's trying to make it better. She couldn't even say important. She's like, it's really important. But she understands that it's an important job. Every time before I leave, I say, my most important job on this planet is being your mother. But this is part of me too.
Would never vouch for us two. And though I fight to feel it, it's a pleasure marred by pain. How long have left the Cape before they ever board the plane? Baby, we don't have much time, so say exactly what's been on your mind. We don't have much choice, so go ahead.
Same night, last dive. We're near the coastal area where Andrea and her mother were last spotted. Suit checked and rechecked. Can't risk any exposure in case the bloom hasn't completely resolved. Hard to swim after absorbing neurotoxin. Seriously. Diving now. I'm in.
Mirai, are you sure you want to do this dive?
I'm okay.
And you're sure you want to record in our streaming format?
Yes.
Ready? Recording now.
Tonight we're recording from the open ocean in the Western Pacific. For those of you who are returning, we're trying to get an updated status on the mother and baby sperm whale that we've been following on our stream. We're recording tonight's stream because we have reports that the mother whale is distressed, and we don't want to surprise viewers if these reports are true.
After discovering a whale fall in our research zone, we suspected that the whales may have been exposed to a toxin or pathogen and are currently investigating. Samples from several females in the pod tested positive for a toxin that we believe resulted from exposure to a harmful algal bloom near the coastal area just outside our research zone.
As I approach the whales, I'm gonna turn off my mic, but keep on my video feed. No.
The whales that we tested showed low level of this toxin, so we do not believe they will suffer from long-term effects. However, we expect that the mother whale was exposed to a higher level and was also more vulnerable because of her pregnancy. Andre, those orcas sure look like they're threatening the baby whale.
Bölüm mü? Ölmüş mü?
Stay close to your aunties. They know the way. As far as we know, those were the only 2 whales affected by the bloom. With all of Andre's technology genius, he still hasn't invented a way to be in 2 places at the same time. Before my flight home landed, Irina and Andre had already confirmed the location of the harmful bloom. I stayed close to home with Nana until she passed the next year. Ren moved in with me to save money while she finished school, which was great. Mostly. It was Ren's idea to keep the live stream going remotely using one of Andre's drones. But it was my fabulous idea to have Ren join the stream to choose the questions from the audience. She is definitely a hit. I can't lie. It's great to be diving again. While I was away, the baby became an auntie. I think she likes it. She still buzzes me when I play my coda sounds, so that is still a mystery. But I swear, we understand each other completely.
Bitti mi? Wow, çok kısaymış ya. Öğretici ama kısa. Bayağı kısaydı. Ya çocuk bakımı tüm sürünün görevi. O zaman buraya yeni videolar geldi. Aynen.
We're burdened from a time when we thought the ocean was too big to fail.
You can't take anything for granted. Even though the ocean is so big, it is sensitive.
The oceans are the kidneys of the earth. They recycle material and filter it out. Most people don't know that. They're not aware. They see the ocean as a sewer that they can dump anything into, and it's out of sight, out of mind. Nothing is out of sight, out of mind on this planet. Everything is connected.
We are absolutely in this mix of biogeochemistry, and our role so far has been consumptive and destructive. If we are to continue to have a planet that works, we have to heal the harm we've caused.
What's the worst case scenario if we deny that the climate is changing, but actually it is, and we do nothing? Then billions of people's lives will be directly affected just by sea level rise alone, let alone the other effects of climate change. So it's not about who's right, it's about the consequences of being wrong in the decision that we make right now.
Educating everybody, from school children, fishermen, tourists, if we can manage to do that, we have a very good future and we can gain a lot from the ocean.
If we could establish the foundation for interspecies communication, we can make first contact. And that's where I hope the future goes. Because what we really want is curious, conscientious, and a self-correcting population.
You changing can affect all the people around you. To walk instead of drive, to buy a hybrid, to ride a bicycle, to not use single-use plastic. Imagine if everybody did that. The effect would be tremendous.
We do have the power of choice about what we eat, what we wear, how we travel. All the things that we do in an everyday way, times 7 billion, will make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
We must protect the ocean, as if our lives depend on it, because they do.
SO Nadir, hatch secure, life support running, and we are ready for the water.
Oh, yes. Look at the length of that thing. He is wider than the sub.
Is long.
No one has dived to 1,000 meters in Antarctica.
My depth, 1,000 meters on bottom, over.
As a scientist, I can tell you we discover something new every time we go out. That's been my drive, to discover things, to uncover mysteries that we can then solve.
We're on a new frontier of ocean exploration that will bring out the explorer in all of us. We're partnering with the Ocean X Initiative to build a mind-blowing platform for exploration. A research vessel that's a one-of-a-kind ocean conservation and media platform to explore the world's oceans in ways that were never before possible, to create one big wave for the oceans.
I think it's really exciting. There's still a massive part of this planet we know nothing about.
We need to make people understand what we do in the next 10 years is going to determine what the ocean looks like in 200 years' time.
Audiences glued to Blue Planet 2 have been starkly reminded of the problems of plastics pollution.
50 years ago, Jacques Cousteau and the Calypso managed to capture our imagination. Somehow we lost that moment. We have to get back that personal connection to the sea.
The greatest era of exploration is still ahead of us. Exploring the ocean can help provide a piece to the big puzzle.
tabii serbest dalış keşif için falan yapılabiliyor. Burada sıkıntı yok. Ama hikaye modu bu kadar.